week, my son was still in school, but my daughters were done with school. So it was a little bit different. Got out a little bit later. I took a survey yesterday for people who attend Orthodox synagogues. And it was kind of an interesting survey. It was asking about, how often do you go to Minyan? That was one of the questions. There were other questions as well. Things about Israel, various things. I thought it was an interesting survey, and I realized it's very difficult for me to get to go to Minyan every day. For a certain time, I was occasionally just going to shul and davening, the whole davening before they got to Baruch, and then leaving after Baruch because I had to make it to work. I live so far away from where I work. It's on the other hand, I simply can't afford to live closer, meaning the amount of money I spend on gas would still be less than the difference in my rent. So maybe I have to sit down and crunch the numbers again. But it's difficult. It's not. But I'm happy. I enjoy I love where I live, and I love my job, and I love driving. So I'm very happy. I know a lot of people say, you should move into a bigger Jewish community. I don't know. I spoke to the Kaliber Rebbe, and he has Lou Gehrig's disease, so he can't move, he can't talk. He just, like Stephen Hawking, he moves his eyes, and the machine talks for him. It doesn't produce audio, it produces just, you can look on the screen, he types out what he wants to say, and some, if you don't understand, it's machine comes from Israel, so it's in Hebrew. They don't have a Yiddish machine. Like you start typing words and it suggests a word, and he writes every day. Phenomenal degree. They send out every week, both an email and printed in his medrash. Back in Elul, so it's almost a year now. So I asked him, had a minute to move to a bigger Jewish community, not a very big one, but a growing one. Maybe there I'd open up Smedrish, something like that. And he said, no, stay where you are. And the Gabba there said, and I said, where I am now, for Yiddishkeit, I'm doing what they'll call in English kiruv. I don't really believe in kiruv in that sense, but I don't know how much quote-unquote kiruv I'm actually doing living there. I'm helping our Rav, but how much am I helping him? I can't come to Minyan every day, so it's not easy. It's I don't know. I don't know what liked the app more before the update, to be honest. It was a little faster, a little sleeker. It had less features, but less features sometimes means no frills. But it always kept the place. Now it has more features, including English, which I personally, I very rarely use. Only once in a while, I want to see if I'm right about what something means, or how do they type it or something. But certainly, for people who need, in order to learn mishnayos, who need both the English and the kudos, because so many of these apps don't have the kudos. And also, the wonderful thing about this app is it keeps your place. That's what, and now also it has two different layouts of the Mishnah, one of which is structured a little differently, that even if you're learning, let's say you're learning a long Mishnah and you have a hard time, remembering where you're up to and you get distracted, it's a little bit easier, especially me, sometimes I'm just walking in the halls from one part to the other part of work, and on Chapa Mishnah, well, I remember Moshe Weinberger Shlita, he was talking to people, I'm talking about 15, 20 years ago, and he was saying, you work in an office, and instead of by the water cooler schmoozing, he said, Chapa Mishnah. And, I remember, I don't know if Bensie's watching this, I don't know, he was so misbold from that. One of my good friends, a little older than me, much wiser than me. He's not, making dumb videos like I do. Much bigger Talmud Chacham and Ehrlich Yid. So he's, he was so misbold by this. Rebbe said Chapa Mishnah, but it's taka true, and all right, they had these little portable mishnayos. They still have, sometimes they give away in the Shiva home or something like that, and that's a great thing, But now with the phones, even though I know a lot of Ehrlich Yid are against the phones, but a lot of people need it for business or whatever. If you have it for business anyway, you have a heter anyway, let's say. I don't really believe Me'ikar Adin, you need a heter for such a thing. People can have enough seichel on their own to know what they're doing with something like this and how they're using it. And people make their own decisions in life. Bein l'tov and l'ra, whatever they want to do. People make their, we have b'chira chavshis, and even if Rahman al-Atzlan, and I'm also guilty to a certain extent, we're using it once in a while for the wrong things. You shouldn't, the big tool that the Yetzer Hara says is, this is a kli that's usher. So, Mimela, if you learn Torah on that, you're giving Torah to Sitrachra. I understand, and this Farmer Kadosh I'm talking, I understand, you could say, Oymani Maisel Melech, even whatever, and then it doesn't go to the Sitrachra. But Be'etzem, learning Torah is to get the zach. You have to learn Torah. Learn Torah is the best zach. So you have to make time to learn Torah. So it's really narish to say, if it's on the phone, I'm not really learning. No, chas v'sholem, it's sheker v'kozov. And adarabba, if you're learning Torah on this kli, it's going to be a skula that you should do less bad things, and hopefully eventually no bad things. And people have struggles. People grew up with things that people didn't grow up in the right way. There are different things. We have struggles throughout life. We have to work on things, 100%. But still, that shouldn't stop us from learning Torah. Especially pure Torah, to learn mishnayos, to learn Tanakh, to learn Gemara. But this, I have an app for Chok Israel, which is great. That's only in Lashon Kodesh, which is fine for me. But so I don't have to schlep with me. Even I have the pocket Chok I've had for years. I've had bacher. And I've been keeping up with Hashem. I don't think I missed a day of Chok that I can remember. 12, 13, 14 years. Maybe I don't say all the words, but at least I open it up and say a little bit of it. That's and the Maisa, there's a cheshivas in that too. The Sapir Rav often said that he could find often the answers to the day's questions, things people posed him in the daily chok. So it's a very choshev thing to learn chok. I would say even for B'nai Torah, chok that's for Balabatim. B'nai Torah don't need the chok. No, even the B'nai Torah take 20 minutes to learn the chok. Even just to read through a Ben Torah, should be able to get through it very quickly. Just to say the words, you're gonna get something out of it. Even if you say part of it, maybe you have trouble doing all the mishnayos or all the Zohar or whatever. But you look at part of it, you say some of it, some of the Gemara. You open it up at least, and you have the connection to the Chok every day. It's a gewaldige thing. Mishnayos are much easier to really be serious in the limud. I also learn the Gemara every day. I've gone. As Chatoinim is Mazkar Ayoim. The Rav in our shul, he asked I should say a shir in Daf Yomi. So I'm stuck with it. It's parnasa. I've gone ahead a little bit, so maybe it's not counting that I'm learning Daf Yomi. Especially considering where my kids go to school. I often say I say I don't learn the daf, I just teach it, but we had a few very short dafim recently, so I went ahead and art scroll. It's really good for the art scroll app if you can afford to pay for it. To me it just seems to make more sense to have the physical art scroll, because the app you can't use on mishnayos. I also learn mishnayos in Shabbos, but I already have mishnayos. I don't need to buy a new mishnayos every couple of weeks. So I know where I'm up to, and then Shabbos, I put my bookmark there of Shabbos, wherever I'm up to in mishnayos, and Baruch Hashem, I've finished Shas mishnayos mostly from my phone a few times already over the past year or two that I have this app. So really, it's really, I very highly suggest it. And it's a great thing that almost anyone can get something out of this, because it has English and it has nekudos and it keeps you where your Mishnah is. You can also have an outline of the whole parak, which is something that they've added as a new thing to the new version of the app. Again, I kind of like the old version better, but I appreciate what the new version has to offer. Sometimes the newer one doesn't keep the Mishnah. Sometimes when you close the app or something, so there are issues with it. It's such a wonderful, okay, maybe you have an issue. You're not a fan of Kahati. You don't need to look at the Kahati. It has also the Bartanura. So don't worry about Kahati. I'll look at it once in a while, because he's bringing from Erlich sources, and he was a Ben Torah. He wasn't. I know people have issues with it, whatever, but and better nice. But the Mila is that we have it available for free on your phone. So why not? Don't let prejudices and so forth stop you from learning Torah, from opening up, learning mishnayos. It's such an important thing to learn mishnayos every day. I Baruch Hashem, I've been learning at least 2, and now sometimes 3 or 4 or 5 parakim every day. You get familiar with it. It becomes part of you, and especially when you learn it quickly like that, like how Nachman Breslover taught how to learn. People say, "Oh, do you really know what you're learning?" And people are like, "What are you doing?" I was teaching in a Chabad school, and they said, "What are you doing?"
They're never going to give up.
Oh, you're not teaching. You're not. I said, "I don't need to teach. I know what it says. I'm not. I've learned this, many times already. All right, whatever it is. Everybody has their own thing. Of course, little kids, they need to learn how to teach the mishnayos. But an adult can, if you've learned it already 20 times, you don't need to teach it. I don't know. All right. Thank you for watching. I don't know why I made this video, but maybe it'll give someone some chizzuk. Time for work now. So God bless you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Be well.